Hey y'all, I'm Hope, and today we're going to be trying something totally different. I'm putting together my August TBR, but just for the hell of it, because I have some ideas here for, I don't know, changing things up a little bit. We're going to be doing my TBR Betrayal game, but we're going to be doing a totally digital version of it. So instead of getting out all my dice and my board and everything, we are instead going to do this all digitally. And that's it. That's the whole plan. I figured out how to screen record on my iPad where I originally created the board, and I just want to see if this is doable because I thought it would be fun to try something a little bit different, and it's always difficult to film this in a way that's visible for everybody. So we're going to give this a shot and see how it goes. Okay, so I've already pulled up. We're going to be using a random number generator instead of dice. That's the word. Actually, there's a dice roll thing, isn't there? Dice roll. Yes, okay. So we're going to be using that instead, and that makes things really easy. So we're going to use this dice roller, and then I've got all of our prompts over here. These are all of the prompts that are on the cards that I have in my decks. This was where I originally wrote them down. And then somewhere in here, you should momentarily see some screen recorded footage of the board as we start rolling. So first things first, I'm not going to roll for a character this month, just because I want to try and do this as digitally as I can, and I don't actually have a digital version of that as of yet. But we're going to just go with a standard 4 books. It's kind of the middle range of what I can get on my TBR with the character sheet, so we're just going to go with that. And now we're going to go ahead and start rolling and see what we end up getting. Okay, so we ended over here. And I'm just going to do everything. Actually, let's do something that's a little more visible. Let's do this kind of fun pink color. Something like that. Okay. So we left off at this mood read spot at the end of last month. And we're going to go ahead and roll a d4 and figure out how many mood spaces we can move. Okay, so we got 3. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And of course, right off the bat, we get an omen. This is the one bit that I can't really randomize unless I want to use the RNG thing because yeah, I guess we could just do that. Hang on. We're figuring this out as we go along. Here is, in fact, my book spreadsheet. Right now it's everything that I read, but here we go. So I have 519 books. So we'll just go ahead and so between 1 and 519. Let's see how this goes. So we're going to generate a number 127. I have already read this book, so let's get a new number. 268. Already read that one as well. Given the number of unread books on my shelf, it's odd that getting read ones. Also already read Pride and Prejudice. Really likes the 200s, doesn't it? Okay, I haven't actually read The Shadow of the Gods, and it's currently on my currently reading shelf. So I need to be getting to that one. So let's do that. And then that should have been our 5th omen. We had 4 carryover from last month. So let's go ahead and roll a d12 and hope that we don't roll under 5. We didn't. We rolled under a 6, or we rolled 6. All is well. No additional book for me. So the first book on my TBR is going to be The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And let's go ahead. Let me stop being absolutely mad about this. Okay, so now we're going to go 2. So we did this, we go 1, 2, which is in fact another omen. So let's randomly generate some more numbers. Or hopefully one number, 338. Heaven Official's Blessing. I haven't read that one either, so we can go ahead and do that. So 2 books on my TBR so far. We do need to do another haunt roll. Let's go ahead and get, hopefully not anything under 6. We're safe. 6 or higher. That was our 6th omen. We're good. We only start the haunt if we roll under a 6. So it's okay. It's all good. Okay, so this is going fairly well so far. And then let's see what's going to come next. I'm again clicking on the wrong thing. Got a 3. So 1, 2, 3. And that's going to give us a modifier. So we have a total of 40 modifiers we could get. So 1 to 40, generate a number 10. And that's going to be lowest rated. So that's going to be an interesting modifier. Let's move on and see if we can get a prompt to go with that. So we go 2. So that's 1, 2, which is in fact another omen. So we have 7 omens in play now. Let's generate another number. Whoops. Out of 519, let's generate a number out of that. 58. We go a little ways up. I have already read a decisional piece, so let's try another one. Again, we're back in the 200s, 236. And the Force of Stolen Girls, just read that one. We're 40. How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps. I haven't read that one either. So that's fun. And that one's actually an audiobook. I think it's like 4 hours long. It's very short, but it's a fantasy story that seems like it's going to be kind of a like comedy fantasy. So that's interesting. I haven't read that. Okay. 3rd book on the TBR, and we need to once again do our hunt roll. Okay, so we're still safe. We didn't roll under a 7. And that is, sorry for all my loud clacking noises there. That is our 3rd book, I believe, out of 4. So let's go ahead and find out what's next. I'm still hoping we'll get a prompt to go with that modifier. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually another modifier. So back over here, out of 40, we're 25. So lowest rated, and now a book that is damaged. So that's interesting. I have quite a few used books that have, you know, the covers have gotten damaged prior to my owning them. So that was where that idea came from. So, interesting. See if we can get a prompt to go with these. 2. 1, 2. We are not going to get a prompt because we got yet another omen. So, it's all omens. It's all omens this time. Once again, I have forgotten to change the number. Generate. 481. Oops, too far. Already read Spy Family Volume 2. So let's try that again. Oh, it's another volume of Spy Family, so we're not going to do that. 63. It's The Wolf and the Woodsman. I haven't read that one either. Okay, so now we have 8 omens. And we're still safe. I don't think I've had an all omens TBR before, but that's wild. And yeah. Okay. So, let me go grab those books. The lighting is questionable now because I can't speak this evening, and I've tried to record this about 12 times. But I do have the books picked out now. We've got them all here, and the first one is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I'm actually really excited that this came up as an omen because this is on my priority TBR for the year. I already started it once. I read about 30 pages, never got any farther. But I am really excited about this one. I think I'm really going to like it. And I don't know much about this other than it's a Viking-inspired high fantasy. It's kind of Viking-esque, I guess. But it sounds like it's going to be really fun, and I've heard some good reviews, and I've heard good things about his other series that begins with Malice. So I'm excited to finally dive into this one and actually make some progress on it. Then we got Heaven Official's Blessing by MXTX, which is a kind of supernatural fantasy story about a guy who was a human prince who ascended to godhood a number of times, and then 800 years after his mortal life, he ascends to godhood for a 3rd time, and he pisses off a lot of the gods in the process, gets sent back to the mortal realm to hunt ghosts and things. And so he's off doing that when he meets this other guy who is more than he appears. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I know it's a queer romance, and it sounds like it's going to be like exciting and funny and probably very emotional, so I'm very interested in this one, and I'm curious to see how I end up feeling about this, because I've heard some good reviews of the same author's other series that's Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, that one. I've heard a lot more about that one than I have about this one, but it just seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, so I'm excited. The third book we got was How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps. I don't remember the author's name for this one, but this is a very short kind of fantasy comedy audiobook that seems like it's going to be fun. This is about, I think, a world where the Chosen One character has either failed in their mission or has just never done what they were supposed to do, and so someone randomly decides to take up that goal of defeating the Demon King, and it seems like it's just going to be kind of funny, and it's very short. I think it's a 4-hour audiobook, so it's going to be a really good one for me to listen to while I'm working. Lastly, we have The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed, which is, I think, her debut, and this one is a dark fantasy story about a young woman who is sent as a sacrifice from her village, and she is traveling with this group called the Woodsmen when they're attacked, and she and the leader of that group are the only people who survive, and I believe they end up having some sort of kind of enemies to lovers romance. That's the word I'm aiming for. I'm having the worst time speaking this evening. They have some sort of romance, and they end up working together to, I believe, dethrone his brother, who is like the current king or prince or something, and is particularly cruel and terrible, and so they are working together to stop him. Again, I think it's going to be fun, and I know this one is building on Jewish mythology and Hungarian folklore, so I'm really interested to see what this one is like. It sounds like it's going to be really interesting, and I've heard some good reviews of this. I've also heard good reviews of Ava Reed's other work, and I'm excited to dive in. So those are all my TBR Betrayal books for the month, and I think the only other thing I want to mention for the month that I'm going to be reading is He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. I got an arc of this from NetGalley, and I am super excited about it. So I'm going to be reading this at the beginning of the month. It comes out near the end of August, so I want to go ahead and read that at the beginning so I can get a review up for release day. So that's kind of the plan. Those are all the books I'm going to plan for now to read for August, and I really like this deck. I think this is going to be really fun. I would definitely like to know down in the comments what you thought of this digital version of TBR Betrayal, if you thought this was better or worse than what I usually do. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I hope you consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting every Tuesday and Saturday, so there is more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.